Testing. Testing.
Good to see you. Yeah, this is the girlfriend Gabby.
Nice to meet you.
How are things? Yeah, good. Good. Glad to hear it.
Moving right along.
Well, sometimes things hold you back. So, you got to move away.
He was an MVP. Can you hand that to Wendy when she comes in?
I do. I'm in Princeton. Yes.
Exa. I. Say it again. Easy. Hey, you know what you do? If I mess it up, here's how you do it. It's the professional way to do it. You're like, oh, hi, nice to meet you guys. I am. I'm serious. I'm serious. It's not gonna make me feel bad. And that's the way to do it. Sorry, Larry. That's the way to do it, because people are gonna mess up your name because if it's complicated. Yeah, but you don't want to be called just whatever, because then they're gonna do that, right? So then you're like, hey, oh, nice to meet you guys. I am. Boom. And I'm telling you, you're not gonna make me feel bad.
Friendly faces. Bunch of volunteers. So you're gonna you two will share a mic. You two will share a mic.
Talking around all these people.
Good evening, everyone. It's my privilege to welcome us here to this gathering. I'm Jeff Vamus. I'm one of the pastors here at the Presbyterian Church of Lawrenceville, and I'm just thrilled to see this great turnout and thrilled to see all of you. I am so excited to hear the testimony and the words of our panelists tonight. This program, WorkWell, began, I think, something like 5 years ago. I've sort of lost track when a few of us felt as if we wanted to try to have an impact on the community beyond just this area. We didn't know what we were doing, really, but people came and gathered around this concern, helping people who are coming from prison to recover their lives. And there have been many, I guess I like to call them God moments. You could call it luck, we call it providence in the church business. And I won't go into all of those moments, but it's really incredible to see how many people have joined together in this effort. And I'll say the one thing that I always say before I introduce Jeanette Risk, our executive director, and that is really, from my point of view, the main point, the main work output of this program isn't only equipping people to get their lives back, to give them job skills and job readiness help. It's community. It's a community response to the problem of post-incarceration. It's us walking the road of life together. Wherever we are, whatever's happened in our lives, we need each other. That's what this is about. It's people helping people, whatever your station, whatever your experience. And so thank you for being here tonight. There are a lot of people to thank. I presume we're going to do that later on in the program. But it's my privilege to, one of the God moments that we experienced, the providential moments, was Jeanette Risk, the executive director of WorkWell, attending an adult education session at Trinity Church, where one of our graduates was speaking, and happened to be available to take the position of executive director, exactly when we needed somebody like Jeanette to take that role on, and she has done a fantastic job. Jeanette, one of her parents is Egyptian, one German. She has run NGOs across the world, and we're very lucky to have her gifts and skills in this role of the executive director of the WorkWell Partnership. So I turn it over to you, Jeanette.
No, I don't know. You
Okay,
must
then
hear.
I will just
No, sit here.
put it this one. Okay,
That's right.
thank you. There's a lot of stuff to hold, so this might be a little easier. Good evening, everyone. Does it pull up?
I told you we could put it up. I told you.
There we go. Sorry. So, good evening, everyone. It's so nice to see familiar faces and new faces, and that you came out on what is now a rainy Thursday night. We really appreciate it, and we're so excited to have this event tonight. We are holding the session to raise awareness of the challenges faced by people who are returning to society after incarceration. One of the fundamental beliefs of the WorkWell partnership is that each returning citizen is a human being with dignity who deserves respect. We have chosen 5 graduates tonight who have completed our 4-week intensive job and life skills training course to share about the journey with us. Each story is unique, but what they share in common are the immense barriers that each graduate has faced and how each continues to overcome these barriers. I learned so much from each group that goes through our training course and stand in awe of the resilience and ability to keep going with life and give them a lot, even though you have had a lot to deal with. Our program is just a small stop along the way for you, for each one of you here. And we have had 19 programs that we have completed now. It is our hope that WorkWell can help equip everyone who goes through our program with tools to help them along the way and in their new chapter of their lives. We provide these tools in different ways. Anthony, our lead trainer, teaches at the classes every day. Andrea, can you wave for us? Our manager of client services works very hard to connect everyone with support services like healthcare and getting IDs so that they can start work. Tamika, our career navigator, gives counseling for jobs and interview coaching and works with our interns. Some of our former interns are here tonight. And many volunteers who are also here tonight to help our participants apply for jobs. Damon prepares meals, looks out for both WorkWell staff and our participants, and is at the foundation of the community we foster every single day at WorkWell. We hope you will enjoy learning from their stories and that your interest in WorkWell will continue. At the end of the presentations this evening, you will have the opportunity to ask questions live or type questions into the comments features if you're watching online. Wendy, over here, will have the mic. If you would like to support future WorkWell participants, you can donate either by scanning the QR code or going to the website, and there are also baskets throughout the sanctuary and also in the area where we will be having our reception later on. And we hope that you can all join us for the reception. It will be through this door after the Q&A event. Before I open the floor to Anthony Batista, our moderator for tonight, I would like to invite our sponsor for this event, the Vice President of Community and Business Development at JP Morgan Chase, and a very dear friend of WorkWell, who presents financial literacy courses at every single cohort, Mr. Shay Oler, to say a few words. Let me just say one more time how grateful I am that each one of you is here, and we hope you enjoy this evening.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here. Jeanette, thank you so much for your vision. Pastor, thank you for the work that you guys do through this incredible organization and ministry. And as I've said before, that even though I have a title with Chase, really this is a ministry for me. Amen. And this is something that I do. For those who know me in the community, this is more than just a job. Scripture tells us that if we could do this to the least of this, we're doing it for Christ. And so being here, being able to uplift reentry citizens and just brothers and sisters up here, it's our passion. And at Chase, that's what we live for. We want to be the bank for all and really helping bridging that gap in the community. And WorkWell has just been such a great partner amongst other partners in the room tonight as well. And we're so glad to be here to be part of this and to hear this incredible story and continue to uplift our community. So thank you so much. My colleague here, Diana, from Chase as well. But we're definitely really privileged to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. That too. As Jeanette said, I am Anthony Batista, and have had the privilege of being the instructor at WorkWell for quite some time. And I don't know if you guys know, I'm pretty much a superstar. I'm on the cover of US 1, by the way, so I'm pretty much a big deal if you don't know me. All right? But no, in all reality, it's my pleasure to introduce you the real stars of the show. First, I'd like to introduce owner of Team Chizel out in Hamilton, Dontae. We have Aiza. He's WorkWell graduates, by the way, Aiza. We have Jonah, Marcus, Larry, and Calvin. And a reminder for those watching at home, once again, Wendy from the WorkWell board will be monitoring any questions that are fielded, and she'll relay them to me at the end. All right? Now, let's get down to business. So the first question, let's start with you, Larry. What are some important events in your life that have left a positive or negative lasting impression?
I just want to start off by saying I want to start with positive. Just positive for me is after going through some life changes and using drugs, going back and forth to jail, and to turn my life around and to turn a negative situation into a positive situation that led me up here today to stand in front of you guys to just talk about the positive things that I'm doing today after going to jail, after using drugs, just losing a lot of things and gaining it back, just persevering through all the things that I have been through, going to jail, using the negative to turn it into positive, just using parole for a positive thing instead of a negative thing, working with parole for my benefit, going to college, graduating, knowing that jail, drugs wasn't the solution anymore. Growing up, knowing that I was a grown man with a child inside of me, not a physical child, but the little boy that I didn't give a chance to grow up. Just doing what I need to do to become a productive member of society. That's it.
Marcus? Slide that on to Marcus. Same question. Can we repeat it?
Yeah.
All right, what are some important events in your life that left a positive or negative lasting impression?
Well,
Hold the mic closer.
a negative impression on my life was when my mom passed away when I was 13 years old. I did a lot of going in and out of jail my whole life. I just got done doing a 10-185, almost 10 years out of my life gone. But the positive is people like you guys helping us come back to society and get our lives together.
Hold it closer there.
And I can call WorkWell whenever I need them, and they will answer every single time. And whenever my phone rings and it's like a South Carolina number or a Nevada number, I know it's WorkWell calling me to make sure that things are going correctly. So that's a positive thing. You guys, positive. And that's really all I got.
Nice, thank you. There's a mic.
How y'all doing?
Hold it.
Yeah,
You hold it.
positive, negative. Really, when I looked at it and the question of positive, negative, prison was like God sent for me. So prison was the turnaround for God to get me to find out who I was. Because when I was on the streets, I didn't know who I was. So the identity that the streets gave me was somebody totally opposite of what the individual I was and who God said I was.
Yeah, give it up, give it up. Yep. What are some important events in your life that's either left a positive or negative lasting impression in your life?
In my life, I chose to use my free will for negativity, and it always took me to the Bible where Jesus Christ speaks about the talents. All my talents, I invested them in the wrong things, and so that's negative right there, and that led me to prison all the time. And then, I started just thinking about how God protected me all my life. And I looked back and said, I just came home from, basically facing a life sentence. And when I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I didn't just accept him, but I accept his word. And, and that was the greatest positive effect that I've ever received in my life, and he changes people and he does perfect. And that's the process. Our job is to give the gospel, and his job is actually the worst one, which is cleansing us to help us overcome and how to deal with life. And if he keeps us in his perfection. So that's the greatest and most positive, productive thing I've ever done, was to actually accept the Lord and stand on his word.
You got it, take your turn.
Shall I say?
You got it.
I've been getting in trouble for a long, long time. I did like a lot of bad stuff, but I had to grow up. I started having kids, and I live every day for my kids, and I'm the only person they got. So, I had to make the best of it. When I went to WorkWell, WorkWell changed me a lot too. Where's she at?
Andrea?
Yeah. She was always there talking to me, like they always, sat there and listened to me. And some people I just felt as though they wasn't listening to me, but them I can say like they really listened to me and listened to the stuff that I was going through. And they gave me a lot of good feedback. I got a job after I got completed WorkWell. That was a good thing because I haven't worked in a while, and I was happy about that. My kids was also happy about that. And since I left WorkWell, I've been working, and that was a positive thing I did.
What left a positive impression? Me being accepted to WorkWell. The staff, they continue to be consistent. When I had a problem, they had a solution. And I'm very grateful for them. Also, left a positive impression in my life. Mrs. Graves and Mrs. Tony Hayes from Salvation and Social Justice. When I was told that I needed help, I told them I needed help. They said, help is here. I became homeless. They found housing for me. Pastor Paula Cook, I'm grateful for her. She always gave me God's word, and she told me to keep the faith and believe in God. My good times and my bad times, she always gave me God's word. So I'm very grateful for her. That left a positive impression in my life.
It's interesting that we actually teach exactly that. For every bad thing that happens to you, we have like an infinite number of good things that has to happen to you to outdo that negative experience. That's the way we're wired, human nature. And yet, all the members in the panels could tap into something that's positive, that gives them a reason, like for you, a why to keep moving forward, to not go back to whatever the old version of themselves was because they love the new version. So that's pretty impressive, and I commend you all for being a true testament of why we do what we do. All right, I'll start with you again, Calvin. Did prison prepare you for life after prison? Whether yes or no, are there any changes that you would like to see?
Prison prepared me somewhat. It taught me how to stay out of trouble. What I would like to change, technology. I was kind of lost. I ain't know how to call the Uber. I was lost. Technology, it kind of blew my mind. So, yeah, it prepared me somewhat, but to be honest with you, when I went to WorkWell, it kind of put me back on track.
All right, how about you?
Nah, it prepared me not to go back. I definitely can't. I can't go back, and especially I got the kids, so I'm never going back.
I know it sounds silly to ask this question, but can you elaborate? Because for every person we believe that people don't want to go back, but obviously we face the recidivism rate where it's happening. People are going back in large amounts. So what in particular, how did they teach you? You know.
How did it teach me? I mean,
are you referring to negative experiences that you don't want to relive? Is that what it is?
no, I mean, I got a son that's locked up right now, and I don't like that he's in jail, but you know, jail is not the place to be at. Who wants to be in jail? I had to grow up to realize that. And now I have kids that's going through the same thing, so you don't want your kids going through that. I got to become a better person for them and for myself. But I got to start with me first. So, you know.
Anything of that experience that you would have liked to change, to maybe that would have kind of set you on the right track, kind of like how Calvin said, he was ill-prepared, especially when it comes to technology. Anything that you wish you had the magic wand, you could have changed from that experience that could have prepared you coming out?
Like what? Like?
Anything they could have done to prepare you. Because, you know, the whole process is supposed to be rehabilitative in nature, right? So what are they doing or what are they not doing that you would have liked to see as a change, transitioning from inmate to civilian?
Prison. What, like housing and stuff?
Well, anything. You had the magic wand.
Education.
Education.
Housing. There's a whole number of things.
Good. Thank you. All right, Jonah, you're on the hot seat.
I'd like you to read the question.
Sure, I'll do that. That's what I'm here for. Did prison prepare you for life after prison? Whether yes or no, are there any changes you would have liked to see?
Like in the system?
Sure.
Nah, prison didn't help me at all. You know, I've been doing this since I was young. Jamesburg, Epson Youth House, you know. It didn't help me. It actually, you know, it create a facade because I have to go in there and become a person that I'm really not. You know, I have to, you know, man up in a different way. You know, manning up in truth is to be a man of God and teach people, raise a child, treat your wife right, you know, work, you know, and you go in there and it's different. It's manning up is make sure nobody steals nothing from you or punks you, you know, and then it creates a stigma in your own mind that's manning up, and then you take that out into the streets, and then, you know, you may be working or something, and it kind of like impairs your mind, your train of thought. But I think iron sharpens iron, and men sharpen men. And I'm glad, praise be to God, that God is sovereign, and his providence is amazing, and he rules, and he's there, and all things work for the good of those who love him. And he was there. He was there, he put right people in my path. And people said the great things to me, such as, you'll get tired of coming back before they'll get tired of putting you in here. I took heed to those words. Now, can there be changes? Absolutely, there could be changes. I mean, we're an evolving race. The humankind is constantly evolving. Praise be to God for the time that He's allowed us to grow and become civilized and righteous in our own righteousness and in the righteousness of the King. But definitely there could be a lot of changes, more programming in there, less discipline, because they call it Department of Correction, but in reality it's Department of Corruption. They're not focusing on the right things with recidivism and stuff like that. So, I don't want to hold you up much, but yeah.
My kids are in bed. I'm good. Thank you.
Do prison helps you to return to society? No. You have to help yourself, right? And it'd be other comrades, prisons, with you inmates, your fellow brothers, because people who are incarcerated with you become your family. You know them more than you know your family, right? Because you do everything with them on a daily basis. So I did 10 and a half years in prison. In that 10 and a half years, I was closer to the people on the inside than I was my own family, because that become your family, because you don't see your family on a day-to-day basis no more. So the choice was either do what everybody else doing in the prison, or I do something different. So each one of us who've been in prison, we got a choice. So the prison don't hold us accountable to change, to you to come back out here to be a different person. Nah, they want you to come back. So me, mine was, I don't want to come back, right? I got kids out there, I got a family, I got a mother, and I love myself enough that I don't want to be around men every day. I just don't want to be around men every day. I don't want to wake up to a bunkie right here and we got to put a sheet up to use the bathroom. I don't want to do that. I don't want you to tell me I got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to eat because you said I got to eat at 6 o'clock. I don't want the lights to go off at 9 because you say my lights got to go off at 9. I don't want to lock in because, so those are the things that changed me. And I said, I got to do something about this. And the only way to do something about it, I had to educate myself. Prison don't offer you the education that you think they would say they offer. The programs they might say they offer is not like that. And it leaves people stuck in the same situation they was when they came to prison, because you find yourself sitting in front of a TV box watching TV. Or you into the side corners with people you might know from your areas and stuff like that, and now y'all talking about the streets. So it's the same thing. So me, I distanced myself, and plus I was in the federal system. So in the federal system, it was 050. It's a whole Jersey that we talking about that I was under. So everybody from Jersey meets each other. Y'all got to do everything together. Riots break out. Y'all got to fight together, everything. But I separated myself from that, and individuals followed me from me separating myself from that. So I was able to give a positive impact on people while in prison. I still was able to use my leadership skills from the streets and just turn it into a positive now. So prison don't equip you with that stuff. So that's why when you asked about the recidivism rate and why people so much come back, because people come back out with the same mindset. People come back out. Once you walk back out the door, you have more now tags on your back. Because as soon as I put my name on the application, I'm a criminal, right? I'm a felony. That's going to stop me from getting a job anyway, right? Most of society going to look at me like an outcast anyway, like a pariah, like I don't belong here no more because I got a felon. Which, as long as somebody walks a life, everybody did something they shouldn't have did before. But they might then get caught doing it. You know what I mean? It happens. But the way society look at us when we come back out here is crazy. People judge you. I'm getting judged for something. I did 10 and a half years in prison, 5 years of supervised provision and still get judged because something happened in 2007. It's 2024, right? So that's going to carry us for the rest of our lives. So when people see you and they don't give you the opportunities because they feel you're still that same individual, but how do you know if you never give me another chance? Everybody supposed to have another chance, right? So prison don't help you.
Thank you.
I'm on their side. Prison does not help, and I think if you're not strong-minded enough and you're in prison, it could make you 10 times worse than you were when you got there, because everything is always like high-strung and everything is like you got to yell a lot to get your point across. People argue over the TV. It's crazy, and it will really drive you crazy. So I don't think prison really helps too much. When I was down there in Southwood State Prison, I was the teacher assistant. Only 12 people graduated in the 3 years that I was down there and got their GED. So it's not like they're pushing you to do it. It's like if you want to do it or you don't. So yeah, and the halfway house, that's a different story. Like when you get to the halfway house, it's either you want to do it this way or you want to do it the right way. The right way is you sign up for like the soup kitchen or you sign up for WorkWell and then you go that way. Or you could be outside and doing whatever you want and doing all the wrong stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not perfect. I try to be the best I could be. But I don't think prison helps at all. I think they should get rid of it.
For me, I just look at it totally different. For me, I just believe that when you know better, you do better. It depends for me. I think it's an individual thing. After a certain go-rounds and, you know, the mindset of where you at in your life, and you start to begin to mature in life, and you see that that's not where it's at, you know, when I start going around and I didn't know exactly, you know, what to expect, and then as time went on and I start maturing, I start taking advantage of it, you know, like going to the programs that they were offering. You know, I didn't get it at the first time because I was doing it because I had to do it to get out of prison. And then after a certain amount of times, it started to begin to click in my head the reason why it was what they wanted me to do. And it wasn't until I made a decision for myself to stop coming to prison. Prison wasn't the problem. Larry was the problem. So until I decided to do something different and start obeying the law and stop going to prison, then it wasn't no problem. If I didn't do the crime, I didn't have to worry about prison. So now I could be on the outside talking to people about prison and how I'm staying out and being on the outside instead of being on the inside, trying to figure out how to get out. That's just how
Dontae brings up a good point. You know, you committed a crime or infraction of some sort 15 plus years ago, and you still have that stigma. You still have that scarlet letter, right? Everywhere you go, applications, what you name it, right? And you could very well keep going down that path because, hey, if I'm a criminal, I'm gonna show you how much of a criminal I am, right? But you haven't done that. You guys all have shown a high level of resiliency to show the world that you're not that person you used to be. It was a part of your life. So I'll start with you, Larry. What have you done to accomplish that mindset, that that's not who you are? That was just a part of a short period of my life. It's not who I am.
Okay, for me, I got to the core of why I did what I did. What made me want to commit these crimes. I used drugs. Like I said, I used drugs, so I started seeking help for my behaviors, going to Narcotics Anonymous, seeing a psychiatrist for depression, and doing what I need to do, and not even being concerned about what an individual think about me, because when you grow up and you begin to want to do better, like I said, stop wanting to just, when you want to break that vicious cycle, when the pain get great enough, you'll do something different in life. And, I only can talk about for me. And for me, I decided to want to do something different. So that's it.
How about you, Marcus? I need the question. Well, what have you done to just undo that mindset, right, to move forward? Like, prison was a portion of my life. It doesn't define who I am. What have you done to accomplish that?
When I was in the county jail, they had NA, AA, and group therapy, only programs they had. So I took all of those, did every mail-in Bible course I could do, trying to get my mind focused on that and the law books at the same time. So then when I got to prison, they gave us like ways to get certificates for like forklift, CPR, flagging, OSHA certifications. I took every single one that Department of Corrections offers. I got the certificates for them, and I'm currently out here trying to put them into use now. So I can do anything. I can work any job. I'm the guy. I'm him. Any job.
He's not lying, by the way. He really isn't.
What keeps me doing what I do now? My family, my kids, my wife, my mom, my brothers, my sisters. My turning point came in a courtroom when I was getting sentenced. And the judge was speaking all this time that I'm about to get, 262 months, 262 months to 327 months. Right now, nobody can know how much time that is. You're like, what the heck? So my mom heard them months and started crying. In the courtroom, loud, you hear her. You get what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the heck? And it's my first time ever going to prison. So she's sitting there, she crying. And when I finally get sentenced, they end up giving me 10 years because a lot of the stuff they had to take off, they just wanted to put it on me because who they saying I was, the statue I had in the streets and stuff like that. But my first time going, and when I turned and smiled at my mom for getting 10 years, and when I talked to her when I got back to the county, she said, when you smiled, it just gave me a relief that you was okay. You know what I mean? But she still didn't understand. Then she's like, what is 120 months? I'm like, that's 10 years. She's like, what? What you got to do 10 years for? You ain't kill nobody. But it's the system. The federal system went by mandatory minimums, and I couldn't get under 10 years no matter what anyway because of what happened. But that right there was one of the turning points in my life. And then knowing when my kids would come visit me, my son was 1 at the time, about to be 2. My daughter was 6, and my son's diaper bag had to be checked. You know what I mean? My mom got to take off her bra because there's a wire in it. They won't let her in. Then when your kid leaving at the end, they crying daddy. So them all was effects. Then one time I called home. My son said something, hung up the phone. He was young, probably like 3 now. Come to a visit. My mom bring him on one weekend. And he said, you're not my daddy. That right there. I left the visit so mad. My mom was like, listen, it's all right. I call his mom. I curse her out. I say every name I can say in the book. God pray for forgiveness after, right? But then I had to understand something that it wasn't her fault. It was my fault. So I had to accept it and hold myself accountable for what my son thought I wasn't his dad. So them right there was my turning points when I said, this is not going to be my life right here. This is not going to be the resolving door for me, because on my first time I did 10.5 years, my first one. And it was not I didn't kill nobody, I ain't shoot nobody, I ain't get caught with a gun, I ain't rob nobody, none of that. Selling drugs costed me 10.5 years of my life. So them right there was the time when I said, enough is enough for me. That was personal. So that's what made me stay on the track I'm on now. Time's hard now. It's rough. It's a fight. It's a challenge, but it'll get greater. God always make a way through every storm. So that's what I believe, and that's what keep me going.
All right, Jonah, what have you done to consider prison as just a small portion of your life, not defining who you are? What have you done to achieve that mindset?
Just have to accept it. You know, we're going to be judged, and that's just going to happen. You know, I once found this great job. I was working there for a week. Then they said, background came up, got to let you go. I was mad. So I started selling drugs again just because I was mad. And I'm like, man, I'm not going out there, you know, and try to find another job. I'm not going to find a great job like that again. So I just started selling drugs again, ended up going back to prison. You know, when somebody passes out and you call 911, the first thing that they tell you is calm down, you know, because if you're all ecstatic, you know, you're not going to be able to pay attention. I mention that because, you know, we're going to be judged, and if we just go ahead and first time somebody judges us, you know, we're just going to act ecstatic and all wild, you know, we're going to just lose point, like we're going to lose our vision of what's great for us, you know, and if we lose our vision for what's great for us, it's only me who loses, you know, who fails. It's my success that's going down, not theirs, you know. So, you know, I accept it, and I don't let my past define who I am. I let my decisions today define who I am. Yeah.
One thing I learned, we always gonna get judged no matter what. And it's crazy, because I did something like 10 years ago, and it was said that somebody had to run back to my child and told them what I did. And I'm like, Dad, like, why they worrying about me? But it be the same people that be going through the same thing and doing, you know, similar the same thing. They be the first ones to judge people. And I could never understand that. And like he said, I got turned down at a job before because of something stupid I did, and it was on my record, and they had to let me go. And I'm like, everybody deserves a second chance. I'm like going back and forth with the man, like, that was 15 years ago. I'm not that same person. You know, I changed. But people, you know, some people don't care, and they don't worry about it. But it is people out here that will work with you, and they will feel like you need a second chance. And I ran into a couple people like that. And I also ran across people that don't care whether you get a second chance or not. For them people that gave me a second chance, I appreciate them. Because people, you know, they're willing to change, and I was one of them. Everybody not perfect.
So she wasn't one of my students, but you're spoken highly in the office, and one of your attributes that people keep saying over and over is like, wow, this person is like kind of like a Marcus for us. The prototypical WorkWell graduate, right? They come in, they get whatever resources they need, and they work. And by work, I mean they work. You got 2 or 3 jobs you want me to do? I'm going to do it. I say this to say, how do you manage that level of resiliency? Because you say a lot of people close doors because of your past. What are you telling yourself? What are you saying to yourself, your self-talk, that says, I'm going to keep going to the next door and the next door and the next door until somebody says, yeah, I'll take you?
Because I believe I can get a second chance somewhere. Everybody's not going to turn me down. Somebody's going to give me a second chance. I believe in second chances. If I could give somebody a second chance, somebody could give me a second chance. And I'm not going to just stop and give up because somebody feel like I can't get a second chance. I'm going to just keep on going. Somebody going to give me a second chance.
Nice.
Can you repeat the question?
Of course. It's important to consider prison as a momentary part of your life, right?
Yes.
And not to define who you are as a person. What have you done to accomplish that?
I was waiting on that. All right, what I have accomplished, I keep these with me all the time. I got a lot of certificates. All right, my baptism. Amen. Service safe management. I can keep going on. Graduated from WorkWell. Certification of tasks. I'm not done. My test scores. Teaching kitchen. Entrepreneur program for Tracy Side Effects, graduated. Forklift training. Community. Working. Reentry. Certification. Behavior modification. And that's it.
That's it.
That's what
That's it. How are we on time? Are we good for one or two more questions? Two, maybe? Okay. Okay. I'll start with you again, Calvin. You guys mentioned, they dropped in a lot of nuggets, a lot of barriers that you guys have to deal with. And some of you accept it as, it is what it is, I'm going to push through, right? But just for everybody, even for me to understand the bigger picture, what other barriers that we haven't discussed already currently exist?
Barriers for me, employment. When I go to a job interview, they don't realize there's a changed man sitting in front of them. My past always hinders me. So that's one of the barriers that I really have, employment in my past.
Yeah. Right. I throw it out to the panel. Anything else? Because the employment one is they breeze over it for the sake of time, but this is a battle that I'm not gonna lie. We all get frustrated at WorkWell because we want to pretty much say, why don't you get these people change? But it's not that easy, right? People are gonna have their own and it's logical why you would think a certain way, right? Because they don't know you, the person. It's just a piece of paper. So I mean, I probably have a few gray hairs just doing that too, and it's not money, but it's happening. But any other barriers? Went off.
It's back. Oh, it's on. It's on. It's back on. It's a lot of barriers though that we face coming from out of there. Definitely a lot of people with different situations. Some people coming home to no family, no place to live, right? No place to stay, jobs, right? Some people health care, right? Some people not educated, right? Some people just lost because they haven't been guided. Some people need help to change, right? So when you come back out of there from prison to the halfway house, you don't get the help you need to come back as a changed individual to society. You need therapy. You need counseling sessions. It's a list of things we need. We sat in a box for 10 years. You know how many people come back without their mind? Like, I pray and thank God every day that I got my mind, this little bit of mind that I have left, I thank God for that. I watch people take pills to escape jail. Just to escape it, make up there's something wrong with them to escape prison, the reality of it. You see people in the halfway house, they do things to escape the reality of going back out there when they don't have help, when you don't got nobody to buy you a pair of sneakers, nobody to buy you no clothes when you just come home. These is hard barriers, and then you don't have people to turn to. It's programs that say they do things, but don't do things. You know what I'm saying? People talk it, we here for returning citizens. We do this for returning citizens. Yeah, it look good on your paperwork. it look good on you when you turn it in to get a grant or something. It look good for your program. It don't look good for somebody like me. It don't fit me. You can't show and prove what you did for someone like us and really helped us and got us in situations to help us change our lives. So when people do these things and say we for returning citizens, yeah, we know returning citizens is the biggest check in the world you can receive when you get in these organizations, because the recidivism rate is so high. So everybody taps into it, but everybody not really there to help change people and help people. Because if everybody was, the recidivism rate would be a little lower. You know why? Because the people who saying they do this for them will show that they really care. Like, you know, I got in contact with WorkWell through Tamika, right? But me coming for the months I've been coming, I see how they care. So that's why I wanted to connect with, because they care, and I care because I've been in them shoes before. So when people look to help us, they always look to help us with someone who's have a suit on, who's gonna speak big words that some people can't even understand. So you don't go get the people who look like them or been through what they've been through, who can actually come down to their level and get to help them. Yes, we need the other individuals too, not taking away from that, but I'm just saying, sometimes that right there go over people's head. So now the help you thinking you coming with, you don't went over this person's head, so they ain't even paying you no attention now. They ready to get away from you. And they not even saying it, but really in their mind, they're like, I can't wait to get out of this office. That's how it goes. That's why people don't go to their probation officers. That's why people don't go to their parole officers for help, because they know it's the same individual waiting to put me back in jail when I make one mistake. So it's a lot of barriers, a lot of obstacles that we face with that people don't really understand because they don't get to hear from us a lot. You know what I mean? So I just do it now because I'm going to say I let my voice gonna be heard for the people like me. So this ain't for me. This for the people like me. This for the other 1,000 people in a camp somewhere. This for the other 1 million people sitting in prison throughout the United States. That's all over, right? The population is big. But if nobody step out and become a voice, what's going to happen?
To go off of what he just said with the parole officer, I seen him on my Ring camera today when they came to my house. I was at work at 8:30 in the morning today until I think 6:30 or something like that when I got in the parking lot here. I got changed in the parking lot. WorkWell called, so I got to be there because they're going to be there for me when I need them. So we going to pay it like that. But now I can see him on my Ring camera. I got the Ring camera on the side of the house, the front of the house, the back of the house, everything. It looked like I did something wrong when they came. And then he's calling me. All the phones was out today for some reason. I don't know why. And he said he thought I was dodging his call. I'm like, I don't got no reason to dodge your call. So now we're talking about, the barriers. It's a lot of them. Parole is a barrier that you don't know about when you're getting out if you've never been on parole. The same people that you was going at it with when you was out on the streets, they're going to be waiting for you 10 years later when it's time for you to come home. They're going to be waiting for you. So you got to swerve around those barriers, jump over those barriers. Sometimes you got to go swimming away from them barriers. But that's just how life is, and we got to stay fluid. All of us got to keep our mind on the track and on the track and the path that we wanted on. And and the people at those jobs, they gon' definitely give us a shot. And the ones that don't, they lost. So that's all I got.
Any other? If there's anything else?
Okay. Like he was saying, the people that we used to run with, they can be a barrier too. Far as people, places, and things, that we used to hang out with. Sometimes we can't avoid them, but it's just so important that we just know what to do when and put in that situation. Just don't get too big-headed, thinking that just because, you know, away from certain situations that I can handle any situation. I gotta keep my memory and keep my focus, you know, that you know, I'm still an addict and I still have issues, you know, with shoplifting, because that's my thing. You know, that I don't get too complacent with myself, you know, because I'm just a thought away from being back where I was. So that too can be a barrier to being complacent.
So I have one last question. You guys spoke about barriers and people, places, and things, and you have mentioned big-headed, right? So like, kind of rub our egos a little bit at WorkWell, right? So I promise not to get that much of a big head, but in all reality, seriously, what does a program like WorkWell mean to you all? I know you can't speak too much to it, Dontae, but for you guys that actually graduated the course, what does a program like this mean to you guys? All things considered, what you said. Sure. Yeah.
WorkWell to me is a beacon. I believe God is definitely involved in it, and it's a beacon for hope, fellowship, love. You know, a lot of people there. You know, I've seen it. I agree with what he says. You know, there's a lot of programs out there that got the good talk, but these people do the walk. They definitely do. You know, they every day, you know, that I went in there, I felt so bad that I had to make tea for my friend Andrea. I had to bring her hot water because, you know, they as soon as she came in, you know, she got right on the case. You know, I just came home and, you know, I don't have all my documents, and they worked real hard, you know, to make sure that you know, things that, you know, I'm a ward of the state, you know, with parole, and they ain't even kicking up for me, you know. Like he said, you know, they'll lock you up quick, but they don't really help. And, you know, WorkWell really, they really kick up, you know. They really, they try, you know, hard. They're friendly, they're kind, they're nice, they're patient. It's a great team, you know. It's a great beacon, you know, but to find hope that there's people out there, you know, that care. There's people out there that do care and do give second chances, you know, that believe in wanting to be there to offer a second chance. It's a great, I mean, if I sit here and talk about WorkWell, we won't leave enough. So, you know, it's great though, you know, definitely 5 stars.
If I could define WorkWell and an NBA team, it would be the Golden State Warriors. Because
I'm out of here.
All right. Chicago Bulls. When Jordan was there. WorkWell is an amazing program, and God is definitely in the mix, 100%. If you got fines, you can call Andrea. She gonna make sure she get on that court line, and them fines go away. If you got a problem with a job where you work at, Tamika know everybody. She helped me with my resume, and it's probably the best resume in the world. Amazing. All of them is amazing. He's amazing. All of them is amazing. That's all I gotta say. Good program.
I just couldn't leave. I couldn't leave here without saying, I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know what I would do without WorkWell, to be honest. I went to college and graduated, went on interviews, couldn't get a job, but I wasn't going to give up like Aisha said. But I'm working today. I'm happy, and I believe in God, and I know that my God wasn't going to put no more on me than I could bear. But I just thank WorkWell because the program, like he said, it's a lot of programs that say they're going to do something, but WorkWell, you the best. You the best. You the best. I ain't seen nothing like that.
I'll do a little better. WorkWell is the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. The director is the Jordan. And there's no I in no team. So you got Scottie Pippen. No, they wonderful. They consistent. They consistent, and I appreciate them. I'm grateful.
You want to relay some questions from the online viewers? Or does anybody have questions here? Oh, we have one in the back. You want this one?
Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Nancy.
Could each of you please tell us how you got connected with WorkWell?
The question is how each of you found WorkWell. You want to start, Larry?
I didn't hear you, excuse me.
How did you find WorkWell?
Oh, okay. It's funny. There was a post. There was a post in the building where I live at. It was like a post hanging up in my building, and like I said, I was looking for employment, and I called it one day, and they called me back, and then I came and I talked to Damon, I think it was, and they called me, and it was on after that.
How about you, Marcus?
When I was in the halfway house, the group before me, they came back and were basically bragging about WorkWell. So then I signed up, and then Andrea came to the soup kitchen and signed us up, and then they called me back and told me I was approved.
Awesome.
Mine, I always give God credit. Definitely, it was ordained by God already, because my brother does not complete nothing. He never finishes nothing. Whatever he starts, doesn't finish it. But he finished WorkWell. He definitely graduated. So he told me about it. So, yeah, and he did get a job. Yeah, he's definitely successful. Praise be to God. Yeah, my brother told me about it, so I'm like, yeah, I get with it, like I got a lot of things I gotta do. But then my pastor told me about it, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta go now. That's it. Two people say the same thing. My pastor tells me first my brother, and now my pastor. All right, now I gotta go. And Damon's not here, but my pastor made a call, and Damon was waiting for me, and that same day I met with Miss Andrea, and it was great. I'm praise be to God that I stayed and I agreed to just come, and yeah, that's how I found out about it. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of shy, but my son's ex-girlfriend, she was telling me about a job fair. She was telling me about a job fair, and she told me the date or whatever, so I wrote it down on my calendar. I said, oh, yeah, I'm going to go. Talking about at the, where was it, at the soup kitchen. So I made it my business and walked down to the soup kitchen because I said, oh, I'm going to get me a job today. So I really thought it was like pertaining to a job. So when I got there, I talked to, it could have been Damien or the other one. And, he was telling me about the program and saying how it could help me and stuff. So I said, well, I ain't doing nothing else. I could try it. So They called me a couple days after that, and I started when the program started. Here I am.
It was a flyer, and I called, and Miss Andrea, she interviewed me, and they accepted me, and that's why I'm here today.
Thank you. All right, another question over here. Should have worn my running shoes.
Question for Dontae. You were talking about how there's some organizations that are set up to help people returning from prison, and yet you have not found them helpful. I'm just curious, what are the kinds of things that are intended to be helpful, but you have found are not serving, were not helpful?
So when we go off that, right, and people say helpful, if people never heard of you, how can you be helpful? Most individuals come from prison, like when I first heard of WorkWell, I had no clue about WorkWell, and I was already home 5.5 years. I'm like, WorkWell, I ain't never heard of this. So that's one, but then when people say they help, you get it and you go to a program and you go for 2 weeks or whatever, right? Then you never get no response back from them. How much help did that do to an individual who just did 5 years in prison, just did 3 years in prison, just did 10 years in prison, just did 15 years in prison? How much help can that give an individual? So most people who gets people into their organizations is only for a quick second of a snip of their program. It's no more continuing once you've done the program, right? So I saw friends go to certain programs. I never went to none because I'm like, they ain't about to string me along like that. I'm going to find different ways, different avenues to do what I want to do, and get the help I need. And I don't knock nobody for it, but if you're not in it for the long haul of it, then you're doing a disservice to individuals like us, because 2 weeks can't help us. Sometimes 3 years can't help us. It takes longer. It's a process, because our life has been shifted for all these years of being incarcerated, and now we got to come out and relearn society again. And meaning we got to learn readjustments. We got to learn not to go around certain streets no more, to not hang out with that guy, this friend over here no more, right? I can't go to this bar no more. I can't go over there to that club no more. So all these things we have to change. So now I got to find a place like WorkWell, right? Or I got to find another organization like Miss Karen and them, right? That helps individuals, right? To where now they start helping you connect dots, right? To help you get better. Because that's how I found about WorkWell. Patrice connected me to Tamika. Like, oh, you ever heard of WorkWell? And we was at a breakfast. I'm like, no, I never heard of them. She said, oh, I think you should meet them. And we had a Zoom conversation, and that sparked it. So I just think more of people being fully involved in returning citizens is what helps more. Because you could post and say, I can help you get a job. But how do that really help certain individuals? Everybody's situation is different. I'm for sure all of ours was different, so like that.
I would just let you know that WorkWell is a 4-week program, but we tell our graduates we are here for them for the next 3 years. Honestly, they come back 4 or 5 years, we're still there for them. Research shows that after 3 years, they don't need our help anymore, but we're here for them for whenever they need us. They want to update their resume, they need help, have a problem with an ID, whatever it is, they come back to us, we're here for them. So remember that, guys. Plus, we like to hear from them, like to know what's going on. You had a question.
Hello. My question is actually for staff members. Is that okay? Hi. I work at a rehabilitation program, and it's a long-term treatment facility. And I was wondering, do y'all work with individuals coming out of treatment? Because where I work at, they do not offer any of this. It's set up for the gentleman to leave and to come right back. And they even have it placed where drugs and alcohol are right down the street. Prostitutes are right down the street. And the success rate is not up to where you all are. I graduated from the program, and it took me a long time to even get hired for this program. And even doing that, I was seeing gentlemen relapse while in the program. There is no type of anything available. So do y'all work with gentlemen coming out of the programs?
So you keep hearing about Andrea tonight, and she's hiding back here in the back row. But she's probably best person. She is, as I think Jeanette introduced her, our manager of client services, and I think everyone will say she's part angel. So Andrea.
So the short answer to that is yes. We have a policy at WorkWell. You come in, you get interviewed. Some people aren't eligible. Some people aren't at that part yet. But we have a thing at WorkWell that everybody leaves with something, right? So I'm not going to screen you and tell you I can't help you and send you out the door, because who is that helping? Nobody. I will find a program for you. I will find something that meets where you're at. So the short answer to that is yes. We don't accept everybody. I wish we could. We don't have the bandwidth to. But if we could, we would. But we have a motto: everybody gets something, nobody leaves empty-handed. So the short answer to that is yes. And I will give you my card before you leave. Please call us.
Hi, so I heard your program is only a couple weeks long and then they're still available to you for the next few years after. I'm just curious, when did each of you graduate from the program, and like what are you guys up to right now? What are you most, what's like the best success that you've had since finishing the program?
When, scientifically proven, it says that it takes 21 days to form a habit. And that's what I like about WorkWell, that it gives you that time to form a habit. So I wake up early now, because I had to be there on time. Also, when I first got there, I wanted to learn emotional intelligence and more social intelligence, and that kind of like helped me to open up, to be able to even stand here and even speak. The only reason why I don't have a job right now is because I'm still waiting on my Social Security card, but it's actually happening. I don't have to wait for it no more. It's already done. I'm just waiting for it to come. Praise be to God. And WorkWell, because they helped me a lot with that. But I do have a job lined up with Meridian Furniture Company. And that's where I'm at. And what I like I said, he mentioned the programs with just 2 weeks, that's 14 days. That's 7 days short of, forming a habit. So doing something productive for 2 weeks, apparently when you want to change, and you will change. But scientifically speaking, you're not doing it enough. It has to be 21 days or longer. Then it becomes consistent and it becomes a habit, whether good or bad. So that's where I'm at, and so I wake up early though.
Oh yes, for people who didn't hear that, Jonah graduated 2 weeks ago, so he's our most recent graduate on the panel.
Where I'm at, I know that guy right there. You with? He's a good guy. I just came off of 2 interviews. Thanks to Tamika. One at Capitol Health and one in Pennsylvania Avenue. So I'm still seeking employment. That's where I'm at.
Where I'm at, I'm working at Capitol Health. Since I left WorkWell, I've been working, and I've been, a couple months, and I've been working since, and I ain't gonna stop.
I've been working. I went to school for a drug addiction counselor, and I'm working as a direct support professional. So it's been working, everything working out good. So looking to move up in the future.
Since going to WorkWell, I worked at Wayfair for 2 months. I worked at Radial for 2 months. And now I was just unemployed. And now I'm working with my boy at his attic installation like business. I make $250 a day, so that's pretty good. I mean, 4 days, $1,000. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, and hopefully it lasts long because he don't care about my record. And as a matter of fact, he has a record too. He just got a rich dad that could fund his business. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And as long as the weather is good, we're gonna keep rocking out.
Hey, can you mind telling them why there's 2 months? Why the 2 months? Yeah, because I want them to understand that it's not because of you.
Oh no, it's definitely not because of me. Those 2 months at those jobs, it's definitely not because of me. My performance is perfect. That is guaranteed. I'll put in as many hours as they want me to. I don't care. 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week, 12-hour days, 10-hour days. That's me. I'm there every time. And that one back there, she gonna get me there every single time, on time. She gonna be there to get me and everything while doing her thing because she does real estate on the side. Yeah, but definitely not because of me. I'm A1. I'm gonna get the job done.
The barriers is the barrier.
Yeah, that's just the barrier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it done.
Bina, are there any questions online? Okay. One last question before we break for cookies. Oh, does it? So, yes, Dontae didn't graduate from the WorkWell program, but he is.
I didn't graduate from WorkWell. I take the WorkWell program, but me, I own a fitness company in Hamilton, New Jersey, called Team Chizel. I've been there for 15 months now. I started my business like 4 months after I got out of prison. You know, I done did it in the parks. I done did it in every park out of Trenton. You know what I mean? I did it in a couple places. I was in out Hamilton off Cricket Bridge Road for like 6 months. Somebody let me rent out their space there. They had a gym, but they let me come and run my classes there. So, but now God blessed me with my own, you know, so I'm just working to grow my business. You know, that's where I'm at right now.
Yes, so that's Team Chizel. If you're looking for a gym, Team Chizel. Dontae's also been a great motivational speaker on a regular basis to WorkWell. Every cohort he comes in and talks, sometimes more than once, to our participants, and it's always a good day when Dontae's there. One last question, or are we good? Bina. Oh, it's a good.
It's just me. I don't have a question, but I just want to say my name's Bina. Some of you guys recognize me. I'm the volunteer coordinator. I'm one of the volunteers here. And I want to say as a volunteer, I definitely recognize some of your faces. I wasn't here for all the cohorts, but definitely recognize some of your faces. And I want to say as somebody who comes in just a couple Saturdays to work with you guys, I mean, I've heard you guys speak before, but just really letting it resonate how many barriers and challenges you guys come across and judgments that you come across, that you guys really let your guards down when people like me who show up that you don't even know to sit down and say, oh, tell me about yourself and let me help you write a resume. And it's just really impressive how quickly you open up to us and because I'm sure it's very challenging to feel like you've been judged in a lot of ways. So I just want to say it's really inspirational to me to hear your stories like this, and I really appreciate you opening up on Saturdays as well as here. So just wanted to give my thanks.
I think all our volunteers say they get more out of WorkWell than our participants do. It's a very meaningful experience. All right. All right, yes, so please.
We need to say thank you to Wendy Simpson, especially, for organizing this tonight. Well, and Jeanette had something to do with it as well, so.
So we want to get to know all the new faces and just mingle, so come join us for refreshments next door.
I would add, if you're not on our mailing list, there is in the lounge where the refreshments are, there is a place to sign up for our mailing list. We'd love to stay in touch with you. We don't send a lot, but we send out periodic newsletters. And if you're interested in volunteering, you can just put a note on that sheet, and Bino will add you to our volunteer list, and you'll be kept up to date on opportunities there. So thanks, everyone. And yep.
Amazing. We did it. We did it. You guys are great. Yeah, you guys killed it. I'm so glad. All right, let me put this around you guys. I don't know where this goes, but I guess I'll leave it here. Here. With the chairs? With his chairs? Nah, we probably won't be able to.